So I did some digging and I found some more throwback pictures. So I'm just going to kind of start at the beginning. This is from back when I was still in my parents' garage. This is a Jeep I built. Um, at the time, all my friends were going four-wheeling and stuff, so I wanted one too, so I built one. This is what it looked like at Haspin after we were out playing. But it didn't originally look like that. This was actually the start of the front and rear bumpers on it. They held air for onboard air. What I done was I built my structure support there and built the tubes on around it and painted it and stuff. But they actually had welded-in bungs to take air, and they were plumbed up to run off the AC compressor as an air compressor. This is a buddy of mine's Jeep. He wanted some stuff done after I done mine, so I built him a front bumper. Unfortunately, I didn't get a nice bend on the nose bar, but it worked out pretty good. It actually worked a few times too. Driving into the creek, you want that to keep you from flipping over, and it actually worked a couple times. That's what it looked like after we got it painted. And this was his rear bumper. Here's some projects that I had going on in the back of the little building after I first got it. I'm actually building a dirt bike motor and resealing another motor. It needed head gaskets. Another neat project I got to work on was for a local fire department. We built a smoker trailer out of a 1,000-gallon propane tank and a boat trailer, and I got to be part of that project, which was very neat. I learned a few things on how smokers and stuff work too, but it turned out really, really nice. So this is after I got into the other building and got it painted. This is the front corner where my office is now. This is the materials I went and got. My cousin came and framed the office in for me. And it was like this for quite a while before I was able to actually get in there and get more done. Yeah, it was like this for probably 2 months, 3 months maybe. A big thank you to my neighbors that helped me with all the insulation stuff. And a good friend of mine I traded some work with, he done the epoxy floor for me on my office floor. Something crazy that's happened that I never thought would ever happen was a tree had fell on a customer's vehicle, so that was fun. When I got the signs for my building, I couldn't use the scissor lift out there because it was too off level and it was setting off the alarm so it wouldn't let it raise up, so I just ran it off the forks of the skid loader. But it worked. I eventually ended up moving my scissor lift into the new building. This is after I got my sign made. These are some pieces that I had to make up for a company, and I had to make some jigs for the piranha. So this is one jig I made so it would center the hole in the right spot. I had to make a jig for each piece because there were two different kinds of holes to be made. And to cut all the bar and the angle that I had to cut, I ended up making an adjustable backstop out of some unistrut and that plate. And this is an idea that failed. I tried making an oiling system for my drill press. I made a bracket and ran an AC compressor that I welded the clutch to the pulley and found the lowest gear ratio I could find, and it still made way too much pressure and sprayed oil all over the place. And I even used an oil filter inside of a big drain pan under it, so I was just using used motor oil as my theory and using the filter to just filter it before it went back through the pump. But yeah, if I put a T in it and a valve, I can probably regulate the pressure on it and be alright, but I haven't had a chance to mess with it. And this was the service truck build. I got a 97 Power Stroke that was a flatbed truck, and I already had a utility bed, so I took the bed off and did a motor swap and put a utility bed on it. It turned out really nice. I've actually started another project where I deleted the wing window and put a Super Duty tow mirror in it. It's not done. I've got a couple pictures of it, but I still gotta line out the body work, and a friend of mine's gonna help me 3D print some panels to put on the inside so it looks factory when I'm done. And like I said, it's a work in progress, but it does look pretty neat, I think. And probably one of the neater projects I've done is actually a bed swap on a tri-axle dump truck. There's a lot of fabricating involved. I had close to 2 or 3 weeks in this, I think. The beds were totally different, so I had to refabricate a whole bunch of different stuff, like the hinges on the bed all the way to the power pack in the middle. So here's probably the biggest I'm an idiot thing I've done. I thought my skid loader could cross the creek with no problems. Well, apparently it had problems. But yeah, it got a little buried. I had to call multiple people to try to get this thing out. It ended up taking us a little bit to get out. A friend of mine dug out behind it with the bucket for the machine, with a different machine, and we hooked a chain to it and kept enough tension on it and actually got it to drag out. But yeah, that was definitely a stupidity moment on my part.